ADA, we start with 1 hour chart. Okay, first of all, if we refer to our analysis, when the price was here, I mentioned the price easily can tag the top and reverse. And easily, this is what we said, because I mentioned what we have, we putting this correction in relative to each other for one move up. Okay, again, since the price broke this line, we mentioned we're looking for the reversal, and then we get the one trade here. When we see the next move, again, I mentioned how we're going to look at this, again, similar to putting this to each other for one move up to break the top. As you can see, price broke the top easily and reverse. Now the thing is whether this one can give us one more drop or not. That's why when the price was here, I mentioned if you want to have a buy, by having entry, we can put here, not here. Because if we put the entry above this top, easily price could tag and reverse. Okay. The reason was I mentioned the way is moving may give us this one in relative to this for one more drop before we get the next move. That's why I mentioned if you want to look for buy, we wait for the correction above. All right. Now the question is, this is the one I'm going to give us a flag for next drop, or still this one can turn to a bigger correction for continuation. Okay. Now I want to see how we can trade it. First of all, we move to higher time frame again. All right. This is what we see. Based on daily chart, we don't see any signs of, we don't see anything to show us the price is going to reverse. In this case, we move to forward chart. The first question you need to, to ask whether this one is going to be in relative to this for running flat for 1, 2, 3 for one more drop. And if we get the price, can it test tag this trend line? Okay, roughly it depends where how this one can move. But from what we have, even my name, last analysis we mentioned, we can expect the price to drop to 1. If this one turn to a corrective move, if the price doesn't start up move from here, we put in relative to this. Okay, and now the way is moving is corrective, unless we see the continuation. Now we want to see how we trade it, whether we should wait for one more drop or we buy from here. For sure, if this one turn to a correction, the price drop and tag, any reversal we can give us better confirmation. But may the price continue from here, how we can trade it in this case. Okay, if I move to 1 hour chart, in this case, the first of all, if you want to having entry above the top, still we the best and most safest we put here, which is 1.277. Okay. The another option is if if there is a continuation from here, we wait to this one to break the top, drop, give us a flat. But if we look for this, then we will have this one as a first move with the internal correction. And this is the bigger correction in relative to this with one move up. Okay, that's meaning this one turn to a bigger correction. Or if this one sharply move and break this one, that means that we get the next flag above this. All right, based on if you want to trade this one, we consider, if the by consideration that the price is not going to drop. Okay, now if you want having entry above this is quite risky. That's why. But how about if the price sharply continue from here? That's why we put the entry here, which is again 1.277, because we want to play a bit. I'm more safer, but still traders they can try to have entry above this, but they should know that putting entry here is more risky than here. And what we want, whether we put the entry here or here, we want the price tag and continue. If within 1 or 2 hours it didn't tag, it didn't it tag, but after 1 or 2 hours it's not moving, we take out the trade. Okay, and the best things what we are more interested, this one turn to a flag for one more drop, at least break this low and test one. This is what we show based on 1 hour chart, sorry, 4 hour chart. Then any buy from there, I will be more interested than buying from here, because even if the price break this one, break this low, mostly I will see divergence here. Even if this one make me will get it. Okay. By the way, if this one right now from the ways forming, mostly tend to flag for one more drop. This is what we're looking for. Okay, but we are not looking for this sell. We can trade it, but this will be short term if we get the only one of the reason because of this move. Okay, but if we didn't get this one, as I explained, we can trade by having entry above this, and here is really risky. Okay, and if we want to put entry here, no can be an option. But if this one tend to flag for one more drop, if the price didn't break this, we can, it will be more safer to have entry here, because at that times we can remove this. That means this one to tend to correction for one more drop, and the price haven't broke this low, then easily we can have entry here, which is 1.2. Then that times we can remove easily this one. But right now, if this one have, I mean, the price haven't dropped within this correction, we can go for both option, and this one is more safer. This one is, I just leave it for the traders. Okay, whether they can manage or not. And if we move to 15 minutes, this is what we see it. We want to see, mostly we expect this one to get us one more drop, at least similar to this internal. Okay, anyway, we just follow the chart. We need to be quite careful if we're trading, because if you're looking for buy, because mostly these two may turn to a correction for one more drop. Okay, and again, I just point on it, having entry above the stop can be quite risky. We don't call it as option, we just leave it. I mean, we just take it out, and we just follow the chart, and we see how we can trade it. If I see any update, then I will share. Thanks.